to Miss Revell's Sewing Bee. This is session number 5 and it's all about buttons. Not those kind. These kind. Now there are lots of different types of buttons. Some are larger, some are smaller. You can get them in different shapes. Some are flat on the top and they just have this one little hook at the back that you sew it on with. Some have 2 holes and some have 4 holes in them. Now today we're going to be focusing on these 2 right here. So we're going to be sewing one button with 2 holes and then one button with 4 holes. For session 5 you're going to need some thread, a button with 2 holes, a button with 4 holes, a needle, some scrap fabric to practice on, and some scissors. You find buttons everywhere. On dungarees, shirts, cardigans, coats, bags, and sometimes even hats. Now, today, you're not going to be practicing on clothes like this. You're just going to find some scrap fabric around your house to practice sewing your buttons onto. But remember to ask first. Now, let's get started on our 2-hole button, because I'm getting quite hot in this. For step 1, first you need to measure out your thread, not too short, definitely not too long, just somewhere in the middle. Then you need to thread your needle onto the thread and tie your knot at the end. If you're not sure how to do either of those, that is absolutely fine. Just go back to basics 1 and 2 where I explain in a little bit more detail how to do those things. So, ta-da! You are ready to sew your 2-hole button. For today, I'm going to be using these special learning buttons that I've made to show you exactly how to do your buttons. So you'll notice they've got 2 colours on them. This hole is blue and this hole is red. So you might hear me saying, put your needle through the blue hole or the red hole, and that's what I mean. So, first thing you need to do for step 2 is to get your scrap piece of fabric ready. Then, all you have to do is decide where you want to put your button. I think I'd like to put it right in the middle. Then, you need to take your crab claws and you're going to pinch with your finger on the back and your thumb on the front to hold it in place. Now it's really important to make sure that you don't put either of your fingers over the holes like this, because if you put the needle up through, ouch, it's gonna hurt. So just make sure you're holding it at the side here so that it's in place, ready to start stitching. For step 3, we're going to start at the back of the fabric, back here, the side without the button on it. So I have to really carefully try and figure out where the hole is. So I pushed my needle up through the blue hole. It doesn't really matter which side you start, but I've gone up the blue hole this time. To do now is push the needle down the red hole, down the other hole, through the fabric, and then pull it out the other side. And you're going to keep pulling until that loop on the top rests against the button. You've done your first stitch now. So to make it really secure, we're going to repeat that stitch 3 more times. So I'm going to need to go up the blue hole again. So I can look at the back and I can see where the knot is. That's where I started. That's where I started. So I'm just going to go up the blue hole, pull it tight, then down the red one till it's tight. once you've done your 3 extra stitches to secure the button, you need to make sure that your thread is at the back on the wrong side of the piece of fabric. You're going to cut off the needle. So you should now have 2 strands that you can pull apart like this. You're then going to tie a basic knot. If you're not sure how to do this, you can ask a grown-up to help you. There we go. I'm going to pull it tight. And you can even do another one to make it extra secure until the knot is against the fabric. You can then cut those long ends off to make it look a little bit neater. And voila! You have done your 2-hole button. You've done your 2-hole button now, so we're going to have a go at the slightly trickier 4-hole button. It is a little bit more difficult, but you use a lot of the same skills that you used for your 2-hole button for this 4-hole button as well. And step 1 is exactly the same. You just need to cut your thread, add your needle onto the end, and tie your knot at the opposite end. So just the same as before, I've got a piece of scrap fabric, but this time it's my 4-hole button. Step 2 is exactly the same as the 2-hole button. You place your button on the fabric where you want it to go. Then, with your crab claws, pinch with your thumb at the front and your finger at the back, making sure that your fingers aren't over the holes. This time, it's almost exactly the same as the 2-hole button. We're going to start in the red one here, but instead of going across, like we did in the 2-hole button, we're actually going to go diagonally across to the blue hole. So we're going to make a cross shape in the middle of the 4 holes with our thread. So we're going to go red to blue, then green to yellow. So first we start at the back. And we find the red hole and we pull up until the knot hits the back of the fabric. For the next step, we need to go down now. So I'm going to go across diagonally to the blue hole. I'm going to pull down until the thread is tight against the button. By this point, your thread is on the back of your fabric. You're going to go up through the green hole now that was next to the red one. So you might need to just look at the back of your fabric to help you out a little bit to figure out where that hole is. There we go. I'm going to push up with my needle and pull it through until I can feel that the thread is tight against the back. So my thread is at the front of the button now. I need to go over to the yellow hole and I'm going to go down and pull it through until the thread is tight against the button. So can you see we've made that cross shape from the red to the blue and then the green to the yellow. So now I'm just going to repeat all those steps 3 more times to make 3 more crosses on the top of my button. Once you've done 3 more cross stitches across your button, from red to blue, then green to yellow, then your thread should be on the wrong side of your fabric back here. So we're going to do the same as we did for the 2-hole button, and I'm going to cut that thread cut the needle off like this, leaving 2 strands that I can pull apart, and then I'm just going to tie them in a knot. Remember, if you're not sure how to do that, you can always ask an adult just to help you with that bit. It's just a simple knot. And you can do it twice to make sure it's extra secure. Then, to make it neat, you're going to trim the ends off like that. And there you have it. You've done your 4-hole button. So you've learned to sew on not 1, but 2 types of buttons today. You are awesome. So next time a button falls off your clothes, then you could have a go at sewing it back on yourself. Bye for now.